Let's talk about 5 money moves that I made in my 30s that changed the game for me. So let's set a little bit of context. So, as you know, if you've been on my side of the internet, my background is in education. So I'm a former teacher, former principal, and I was drastically underpaid and overworked. So as a teacher, my salary was $33,000. As a principal, my salary was 70K. I had debt, I had bills, I had student loans, and I started my business when it was in 2017. So I was 30 ish when I started my business. I think I might have just turned 30 when I started my business. And so, fast forward to today, I have a multi 7 figure business. I've gone from a negative net worth to a lot better net worth. And so, I want to talk about the 5 money moves that I made in my 30s that completely turned my financial situation upside down. So, let's jump into them. The first money move that I made was actually real estate. So today I have 5 properties, but my first property I actually bought in my 20s. So my first property I purchased in Charlotte, North Carolina. I purchased it in 2013. So I would have been 25 ish. So at that time, when I bought the house, it was new construction. It was 150K. And fast forward to today, that property has almost tripled in value. And so at the time, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just kind of buying into this, like, you should have a home narrative. And it paid off really, really well because that property has appreciated significantly in value. Charlotte is one of the hottest cities in the country right now. And so getting into the real estate game has definitely been a piece that has changed the game for me. I purchased my second property in my 30s. My second property was in DC because I moved to DC, bought a home there. I now leverage actually both of those properties as rentals, so they generate income for me. So, real estate is one of those things where it absolutely changed the game for me. So, there's multiple different entry points into real estate, multiple different strategies. And now, on the other side of having a multiple 7 figure business, it is a tremendous asset to have real estate from a tax strategy standpoint. So that absolutely is one of the 5 money moves that has changed the game for me.
Hey y'all, I want to take a quick moment to pop in. I know the episode's getting really, really juicy, but I could not miss the opportunity to make sure that you know that we are headed to Atlanta October 3rd through 5th for 7 Figure Educator Live. This is my 3-day live event. It is the only 3-day live event for education consultants who are out here making a big impact and getting a big bank. And even if you feel like your bank ain't that big yet, I want you in the room because that's how your bank gets bigger, okay? I have curated a very special 3-day agenda that includes powerhouse speakers, 7, 8, 9 figure speakers, intentional networking to find your people, to find your next opportunity. Y'all, we're getting ready to take the city over, and we're taking it over at a 5-star property, okay? Meet me in Atlanta October 3rd through 5th. Grab your ticket by heading to 7figureeducator.com. I'll link it in the show notes, and I'll see you there.
The second one, this one is a little, you may not think of, it may not be super obvious. So I left my job as a principal in 2018, went back to school full time to get my doctorate at Harvard Graduate School of Education. And then when I graduated in 2021, I decided to go full time in my business, and I decided to be a digital nomad for 6 months. So I had put all of my things in storage. I had packed only 2 suitcases. And for 6 months, I traveled around. I didn't have an apartment anywhere. I was getting mail forwarded to my mom's house. And I was literally just moving around. And how I was determining my next location was based upon hotel deals of what cities I wanted to go to, what hotels looked cool that I wanted to go and stay at. So for 6 months, I was a digital nomad. And the reason why that changed the game for me is it just completely expanded my view of possibilities. And so it allowed me to redefine like what was joyful for me, what were the environments, the people, the experiences that gave me energy. It allowed me to redefine what I wanted to be true in my life. So rather than having this definition of you work Monday through Friday, you go to the same location every day, you come back home to the same location, I was really able to create my own definition of happiness during those 6 months. And when I started, I didn't even start with an end date. I just said I would keep doing it until I got to a point where I felt like I needed to actually settle down in a home base. So I got to that point after 6 months and decided to land in DC. But that digital nomad chapter really allowed me to embrace what flexibility meant, embrace what it meant to design my own life. And I think that's really important when you're thinking through what does it look like to lean into abundance to be able to grow a seven-figure business. So number 3 was hiring a W-2 employee. So at the same time I became a digital nomad, I actually hired my first W-2 employee to help stabilize my business and start to build some infrastructure to keep my business still going even while I took a sabbatical. So during that 6 months, I also took a few months of a sabbatical, but hired that employee to help my business still move forward. So hiring that W-2 employee allowed me to work smarter. It allowed me to get more things done. It allowed me to work faster because I had another person that was supporting me. So that first W-2 employee for me was an executive assistant. They were helping me build SOPs, build systems, still supporting me with social media, processing invoices. So it allowed me to get so many things off of my plate. So that way I could double down in the things that were generating revenue in my business. Then number 4 of the 5 money moves that changed the game for me in my 30s was so taking a step back in my doctoral program. My last year, I knew that I wanted to go full time in my business. But baby, my head was like, what that math looking like? Like the math got a math, okay? If I'm about to go full time and everything is going to be dependent upon my ability to pay myself, well, what does it look like to actually create the level of safety, social and emotional safety that I need in order to feel comfortable betting on myself in that way? So for me, what I told myself was by the time I graduated, I wanted my business to be making so much money that taking a job would cause me to lose money. So, setting a goal of my business making so much money that taking a job would cause me to lose money, that was one of the money moves that changed the game for me. Because I set the clear goal, because I was focused, because it allowed me to double down, because it created a sense of urgency, I went in on my business. And by the time I graduated, my business had made $63,000 in 30 days. So when I'm getting job offers for 120, 150, I'm like, I can make that in my business in like 2 months. So I had reached the goal of my business making so much money that taking a job would actually cause me to lose money.
Hey there, I'm popping in really quickly to make sure that you knew about my 7-figured business school. It doesn't happen often, but every once in a while, I teach live for 5 days straight. Baby, I'm still a teacher at heart, and it gives me so much joy to teach about the foundations of a 7-figure business. During the 5 days, I'll teach you how to package your offers, I'll teach you pricing, I'll teach you $1,000,000 sales that aren't salesy, and I'll teach you how to find folks to go and pitch your offers to immediately. So do not wait. Go ahead, head to the show notes, and I want you to click the link to sign up for our next business school. I'll see you there.
And then the last money move that I made in my 30s that changed the game for me was investing in coaching. Here's, I think, the interesting thing about educators is we are so used to investing in ourselves when it comes to degrees and like certificates and credentials. So we will drop racks on racks on racks for a master's. We will drop racks on racks on racks for a doctoral degree. But the moment we're faced with an opportunity to invest in ourselves and invest in our business, all of a sudden we be getting nervous. We'd be like, well, what's included again? How much? We'd be like analyzing, well, what days of the week does it cost? And how long is it? Well, how long will it take me to make my money back? Like I just think that's such an interesting question because nobody asks that questions when they pay for a master's. Nobody asks, well, how long will it take me to make my money back? because you value the credential, right? Nobody asks that question when you're paying for a doctorate, even though a doctorate on average costs 6 figures to get. So for me, it was absolutely a mindset shift to invest in coaching. But the moment I took the leap to invest in myself, I was able to expedite the growth of my business because I did the due diligence to really find the coach that I knew was had the answers to the questions that were most pressing to me in business. I paid for their coaching. And because I knew that I was going to show up and execute and run the plays, I made my money back plus more. So, those are the 5 money moves that I made in my 30s that changed the game for me. Investing in real estate, being a digital nomad, hiring my first W2 employee, setting a goal that wanting my business to make so much money that taking a job will cause me to lose money, and investing in coaching. So let me know in the comments which one sticks out to you, which one you might have further questions about. And if you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend and hit that subscribe button. And we would love to continue to have you in the ecosystem and the community as we're dropping further content. And so by hitting that subscribe button, you're going to be the first to know when new content releases. I'll see you back here soon.